today we're talking about the moisture and gas vapor suppression system. And it's a gas and vapor suppression system, so I've already screwed that up. What this is it's a coating. It's a liquid applied coating that goes on the concrete slab. It can go on vertical concrete walls. And what it does is it is special in the way that it not only blocks hydrostatic pressure, but it blocks gases as well. That's okay. It is 100% solids. What that refers to in the coating world, it has not been diluted. Okay, so there is no solvent in there that affects things like foam. And so you start out with that. If you're going onto concrete, you need it to move a little better. You can dilute it only up to a certain percent, because remember, with this coating, you want to keep the permeability. Permeability is a huge thing when we're talking about blocking stuff like hydrostatic pressure and gas. Okay, permeability is essentially what can pass through that material. Think of a film of paper. Water is going to go straight through it, but a film of something impermeable, which is below 1 perm, that water is not going to go through it. That's where the term waterproof starts, at 1 perm. Below 1 perm, below 0.1 perm, is where you block radon. Okay, so the most common material to block radon right now, used underneath a lot of in-floor systems and under a lot of systems, is poly. You know, you're using poly or plastic and you're taping it, putting it down. What that's not going to do is protect you against hydrostatic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure, okay. The force of water is insane. Everybody knows that, right? When in the coatings world, the things we look out for are hydrostatic pressure, meaning there's going to be possibly pressure pushing through from the positive side, which is the outside or underside of your slab or foundation, and that's pushing into the negative side, which is your basement or your garage or living space or outside hangar shop. Parkades are big, right? You got to go deep often when you're doing a commercial parkade, deep in the ground. Chances are you're getting below the water table. Chances are you're going to have some hydrostatic pressure issues. So if we jump, there's a little video here that Shannon will play for you.
It's a fountain of youth?
Yeah. That is a pinhole in a parkade. A pinhole where the membrane got missed. The membrane being the product that we're demoing today. That's all it takes. This whole floor was full of those. The thing would flood regularly. This is looks like a water fountain that you would drink out of. And that thing keeps going every time there's a melt, every time there's a freeze. And it just, all that water that's under the slab, it comes up and it damages the concrete. It'll blister off coatings. It'll rot out, if it's in a house, it'll rot out your insulation, your timber framing, your drywall, you name it. Water rots it. You get mold issues. We don't want that. So this is why you need something better if you're planning on blocking anything more than just the gas, and you want to block hydrostatic pressure as well. If you think you put poly under your laminate hardwood floor, you put poly under your tile job that you're doing in your basement, you put poly under whatever your floor system ends up being, hardwood, and you end up with this, well, I mean, you're just going to have a lake under your poly until it explodes somewhere. It's going to be like walking on a waterbed, okay? Radon, I mean, it's a ground gas. Comes up through soil and finds its way into basements. And I was just talking to a fella from a radon company, and he said it's not as present in most garages, but places that aren't well ventilated, that are underground, that's where the highest levels are. Correct me if I'm wrong, but where I think the highest levels are where you're going to detect it. A lot of jurisdictions throughout North America, there's a big fight against radon and radon poisoning. There's research to suggest that it's even the second leading cause of lung cancer after smoking. So it's a big industry. There's a lot of attention to it now, which for a long time there wasn't. Like I said, you got your 2-part A to a 1-part B. It comes in a box. We just took it out of the box. I love these pails when doing a smaller application because you can see on the side all the different measurements. Just grab big 5-gallon buckets. So this totals to 3 gallons, which is perfect to mix in a 5-gallon bucket. I just don't need to mix this all today because I'm only doing a small area. But when you're doing a big floor, that's what you need. When they pop this off here, I pre-popped it so I didn't embarrass myself on camera. 2 to 1. So I'll do a quart in here.
This way.
Okay. And then half quart of the hardener. So a little bit because I overshot her a little bit. There we go. So you notice it's not as super viscous as a lot of epoxy products. That's because you want it to saturate, bleed into your concrete. Binders are meant to get that really good adhesion and really good penetration. I don't know why I was opening this. I just want to show you guys this is xylene. We poured it in the pail down here. That's what we'll dump our drill bit in.
A drill bit.
Here's our drill. So a ported mixing drill. These do come in silicone, but the difference, so in coatings, you want to use this as a coil mixer. The reason being, you get way less bubbles. Now, when you're doing something like a mortar or cementitious product, a scree, a grout, you use a paddle mixer. The paddle mixer is a square. I think Nikki ran to grab one. Just want to show you guys the difference. The reason we use this for coatings is you get way less bubbles, right? Bubbles cause pinholing. There you go.
Paddle mixer.
Paddle, yeah. That'll get the edges of the bucket and get your material sticking on the edge of the bucket, break down aggregates really well. This stuff prevents as many bubbles from forming. So,
Yeah, I'll take it. All right, if you want to get one. Okay. We can jump.
so
Chicken theory.
it actually mixes really easy, guys, because there's not a difference in the viscosity between A and B, or as big of a difference.
Trying to show on the screen, but it's not working. So. I tried.
By viscosity, I mean thickness. Some part A's versus the B's are quite a bit. One can be pretty thick, like a mastic or gelatinous. The other one can be as thin as water. And those ones are a little difficult to get. You got to give them a pretty good mix time. The mix ratio time, or the mix time, is on the data sheet. So just refer to that. It may say to let it sit for a minute or two, just to prevent air bubbles, to let the product settle, and then you get less air bubbles when you go and apply it. Okay, we went over the basic tools. Paintbrush, your first step is literally take this, cut around the edges everywhere. Don't forget it, and then you start rolling and you can't get into the corners, because then to get to that corner, you got to wear cleats or you got to go the next day to get it. So try and do all your cutting at the corners with this, or around any obstacles with the paintbrush. You guys, I'm switching over to the nylon roller. Again, they do have silicone rollers. They do have rollers with little nubs to get the right mill thickness. On a big floor, you'd have this on the pole. You'd move it around and then back roll it later. You could use one of these guys as well. I'm just taking the rest of this off. I'm going to pour some epoxy.
Is the volume so okay?
So you just create rivets. You want to go from if you got a wall, work from that wall. You have somebody mixing from you, because you don't want to just do a section, divide it into quarters. By the time you get back, there's a seam that's dried and then you get an overlap. In normal epoxy, okay? That's kind of a rule with normal epoxy. We're talking really about a coating here. It's meant to go on relatively thin, but its main job is to permeate your concrete and to go underneath other floor systems, right? So once this brush picks up some material, it'll move a lot easier. Don't worry, guys. You're not going to sit here and just watch me roll paint. You guys are probably thinking, man, we know how pieces roll. But right now, I'm making you samples, right? I am going to come back and do a sheet of this, though, with the proper mill thickness trowel, just to make sure we got exactly the millage on there. And then I can backfill that a little bit. Not rolling a lot of the time or rolling it, just ensures you get it even. There's a self-leveling property to this. Now this backer board that I'm rolling it on right now, it's got webbing in it. So it's kind of trying to find all the gaps, any of the little pinholes. The reason I chose this board is because it does have a concrete finish on it, which is great, but it's got like concrete finish. Got little bits dust, got little pinholes, and it's going to allow the coating to sit into those areas. Okay. One sec. These are some of the boards I'm going to send you. There's the finish. It's really smooth, and you can take a look at it in the light. We got it in clear so that it doesn't affect the look of the concrete too much. And if you wanted to have more of a sealed concrete look, you can get that with this. So that's what we're sending out to you guys. So I mean, it can be aesthetic and functional at the same time. It doesn't always have to just be one or the other.
So much for giving us your time this Friday afternoon, and we hope to hear from you all soon.